James went on to Amazon. After I left there after a year, it wasn't my place. Matt stayed there because some of his team was there and he needed to get that CTO role.
Yeah.
And so I went out, didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was looking at a bunch of stuff, all kinds of, seriously.
Well, you're only 31, bro.
Yeah, I feel you and I both look young still, by the way. Thank God.
I am young. Yeah, exactly.
And then I ended up being put in charge of the CEO position of this company called Emetry, which is like a customer insights company, which is all like similar to the analytics
What
group.
you do?
Almost. Yeah, it's crazy. What I didn't do, I'm an e-com digital guy like you, but like when I went over to W2O, they put me in charge of the analytics team with the social media stuff. So really fascinating.
Let me ask you about that because I don't know what I was doing. I was reflecting back on the time that we had that paella at your house. And that was a great time, by the way.
That was a good time, man.
I don't remember the full night, but anyway. So
that makes it was a really good night, brother.
Exactly. Yeah. So Vintank, dude, because I've been doubling down on analytics, right? And so looking at audiences and understanding audiences and trying to figure out what their affinities are and what they're saying and who they're following. And you had Vintank, right? Acquired by W2O.
Yep.
Have you ever thought about kind of getting back into it and kind of building something new? Or actually, do you still have, is Vintank officially not yours anymore?
It's officially not mine. It's sold to, and so I'm a big fan of what you're saying. A lot of the stuff that we did that was kind of cutting edge at Vintank is now kind of commodity based. All that social stitching stuff, a lot of the GDPR, CCP stuff makes it harder to do some of the cool stuff that we did before. I think the analytics, as it becomes more commodity based, it's more about the use case and how you tie it into customer journeys. Obviously, there's the difference of like micro influencers and influencers, which you do a lot of work with. But I think that there's this whole like customer understanding, customer journey mapping, and how you can touch people in an omni-channel world that's super fascinating. So we're doing a lot of that work right now, to be honest with you. So like we take their own data, we do a lot of the analytics across it, but we do like behavioral analysis to see who's going to buy, when they're going to buy, how much they're going to buy. Are they on a journey going up? Should we put more gasoline on them? Are they going down? How do we slow that descent? And I work with a lot of the people you probably remember: Steve Blackman, Yash God, Matt Spicy.
So they look at your company.
Yeah, I got all the boys, man.
Hey, you got to pull Stroud over, man.
Yeah, it's straight. Yeah.
I haven't seen Aaron I haven't talked to Aaron. I think the last time I talked to Aaron was, I think it was during the Super Bowl, or it was the Super Bowl that just passed.
Okay.
He sends me a text like in early January, and he's like, "Hey, good luck with the Niners." But I have not seen him online, and he's I think he's still up north, right?
He's still in, So he's still in the Bay Area, over by Concord in that area, and he still works for W2O.
Yeah.
He's he's the senator. He like as a chameleon. He hides. Yeah. He's very versatile that way.
Yeah, he is. I miss him. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Yeah.
So your company though, I want to drill down a little bit. So what type of clients do you work with? I'm just curious.
Only wineries. Yeah. So I tried to break out of the wine business. Obviously going to WTO was part of that. And then I followed the software to the restaurant industry with Matt, because I'm like, I got to get out of wine. And then like, after that was over with, I kind of had a soul searching and said, you know what? I really can't get out of it. I'm here. I'm not going to be able to move. The commute to the city for WTO was fucking soul sucking, dude. I couldn't do it. And so all the companies that are like had CEO positions for me as tech meant I had to go to the city every day. And I'm like, I just can't do that. It kills you. And I can't move, and we're not going to leave this house. And my wife's the CEO of a winery here, and all of our 4 kids are here. So it was like, okay, I better get into wine. So I kind of just went full into it. And for the last few years, I've been like, I'm speaking all over the place. I'm killing it, dude. I'm the turnaround CEO for this thing. I flipped this motherfucker in 18 months. It was, excuse my language, but it was awesome. Yeah.
So you can't leave. I mean, Paul Mabray is like synonymous with wine, bro. And
yeah. Wine tech. Yeah. Wine tech is my thing, unfortunately, or whether I like it or not.
Every person I meet who either is from Napa or has lived in Napa, I'm like, you got to know Paul. 9 times out of 10, they do, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My whole career, as you know, has been about wine online. I mean, whether I started a wine shop or wine.com, I founded a wine direct, I did Vintank, which was social media online. I'm doing big data online right now. And it's always been about wine online. And people are like, Paul, you're so cute, that wine
You were
online
way
thing.
ahead, man. You were way ahead of the game back then, dude.
I'm on the surfboard for sure. And then, the last few years have been really terrible in some ways for Napa, in Sonoma, which is we had fires, we had blackouts, and then none of us had a pandemic on our bingo card, but here it is, which is,
the freaking Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is among us, bro.
Seriously, it's something that none of us expected. I'm like, where's Rick Grimes right now? I need some help. But it's crazy. So they closed down all the restaurants, and we're seeing that terrible effects in the world, which is a big function of a winery sales go through restaurants. And then they closed down tasting rooms, which is for small, medium-sized wineries. That's a big part of their revenue as well. So all of these, pushing and goading and asking wineries to go online has become like something that all of them are rushing to, and we're kind of the last industry to do it. So it's this frenetic race, and none of us have muscle memory. None of us really have infrastructure. None of us have people or processes. So it's really fascinating to watch. And also I've become a bit of a superhero in a weird way, a bit of a Cassandra, saying, hey, look, so I'm getting a lot of questions about how we do this better. And it's hard to answer all the questions because there's a lot of like fundamentals. Yeah.
You were definitely a visionary. And I sometimes, we're connected everywhere. We're personal friends. We know each other's families, but
for sure.
I think you said something, it was either on LinkedIn or Twitter, something about how certain wineries, and I don't know if it was before COVID-19 or not, maybe it was before, and how there was this huge opportunity for wineries to engage in dialogue with their consumers through social media in different platforms. Yeah. And so it sounds to me like what you're saying is they're now doing that, and they're laggards, obviously, but why is that though? I mean, it's the most social thing you could do is drink wine. Why is it?
Yeah, this is my career's work, right? It's like a Rubik's Cube. And I think it's a couple things. One is we are an annual product. We make wine once a year. We don't go fast. We don't think fast. We don't move fast. It's a once a year product. And the other one is our own success has really kind of hindered our, innovation. I mean, we've had 20 years of double-digit growth in our industry, and even when it slowed down a little bit, we had all this tasting room sales. Everything was growing. Don't mess with success is the old phrase, right? The old adage. And if it's working, why change it? And so that's what's been happening. And we've been kind of, our own successes cursed us with kind of some apathy to these amazing channels. It's also allowed us to avoid some of the ridiculousness that's gone through digital that you and I both lived through on that side as well. Yeah,
totally. Quick question. So, I moved to Morgan Hill.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's like 5 wineries in Morgan Hill?
I do. Yeah.
So there's Guglielmo, there's a couple of others.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have not been to any of them yet. So any recommendations?
I know. Just go visit them all and tell me what you like. How's that? Go visit them all and tell you what you like.
I do. Yeah. Well, I like red. I like the bold red wine.
I got some surprises for you. I got some good stuff.
Well, when I texted you, I was at Trader Joe's, and I was talking to a woman there, and she's like the wine person at Trader Joe's. And I was telling her what I like. I like red wine. I like it to be kind of, bold and almost, spicy in a way. So she pointed me to this bottle of wine. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was. Okay. It's from Napa. I can't remember the winery, and it was a $45 bottle of wine, so it's not cheap and not super expensive.
Yeah.
It was awesome, dude. It was so good, and my wife and I just took care of it but it was only, I guess they only release it during certain periods of time.
Okay.
Any recommendations you have, bro, I would really appreciate it because I'm becoming a wine drinker.
Yeah, good. We all do in our older life, so I'm drinking some right now. Happy hour starts a little earlier during a pandemic, actually. So.
Hey, dude, happy hour is like nonstop, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, last question, then I'll let you go. So again, thank you for. Once we stop recording, you and I are going to catch up.
Yeah.
So there was a report that came out about top influencers, right, in the wine industry. Many of them were, I think, journalists, from what I recall, or a few of them were. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had some back and forth about how to measure influence and if it was a legit study or whatever. Yeah, what's your thought on just either the industry and measuring influence, or just some of these influencer lists that get published without a lot of thought?
So there's a couple things. Look, you and I both know that there are multiple ways to measure influence. There's the 3 R's, which are really accurate: reach, resonance, and relevance. I think that also there's a variety of different kinds of influencers, from micro influencers to macro. And some of these lists that are generated come from some simplistic tools that, maybe do follower count or do some, maybe vanity metrics, or maybe actually do some decent job, but, the fidelity of their measurements aren't great. I think the backlash against influencers is really strange in general, because really influencers have been around since the dawn of marketing.
Yeah. Chuck Norris, dude. Chuck Norris and the Total Gym.
P.T. Barnum. Wild Bill Hickok was an influencer who put his name on like whiskeys and tonics and medicines. Yeah. I mean, like, you can go back to royalty, even the old wineries, the names on them are kind of like influencers, right? So I think the problem with influencers now that people are having a visceral reaction to, aside from the fact that there may be some inherent misogyny in it in some ways, right? Because it's very predominantly female, but it's no one that was an influencer in past times, that was their number one job. It wasn't a career. It wasn't a profession. And now it is. And I think that that's the part that people are having trouble digesting, that there's a profession about promoting and marketing yourself and products, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So, I mean, we would call him a commercial actor before, right? And then no one complains about what's the woman from the Progressive commercial?
Yeah, I can't remember her name. Yeah,
it's Sam or whatever. Yeah. But she's an influencer, and the reason they keep hiring her because it works, right?
Yeah. And does LeBron James really drive a Kia? Probably not.
That's right. Oh, Matthew McConaughey doing what car does he drive?
Lincoln.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
That's a nice car, though. Actually, that's a nice car.
Those are great commercials too. I want to drive one when I see him. He's like all cool. He's all suave. Yeah. All right.
Exactly. All right, brother. Hey, thanks so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.